Okay, so according to it's okay for the Israeli government to murder civilians because Hamas is using Palestinians as human shields. So that does that mean it's okay for Hamas and other Palestinians fighting against the Israeli government to kill any Israeli civilian or person that they want because the Israeli government is using Palestinians as human shields? Because the Israeli government is kidnapping Israeli civilians and using them to investigate possible tunnels and other areas that they think is booby trapped by Hamas. The idea that Hamas is evil because they use human shields means nothing anymore when now it's found out that the IDF is using Palestinian civilians, people that aren't charged or tried for terrorism or have any connections with Hamas whatsoever, are being used as human shields. The Israeli government consistently wants to claim that they're the most moral government and they have the most moral military fighters. Yet, time and time again, they're shown to be the most terroristic group of people in this situation.
Palestinian detainees are forced to serve as human shields by Israeli forces during raids in Gaza with the knowledge of senior officials, according to an exclusive report by Haaretz. Civilian detainees, including the elderly and minors, are forced to wear Israeli army uniforms and carry cameras as they are sent to inspect buildings and tunnels for booby traps or clear paths for Israeli soldiers just minutes before raids begin. Their hands
This is funny because Zionists and IDF and the Israeli government constantly scream about how Hamas is dressing up hostages and stuff to look like Palestinian civilians when it's the IDF that is actually doing that, dressing up Palestinians to look like IDF members so that they can use them as human shields. It is always funny when the oppressors are always projecting what they do onto the oppressed group to make the oppressed group look like the evil guys when it's actually the oppressors. And in this case, the Israeli government are the oppressors, and they have been for 76 years now.
are often cuffed, and instead of military boots, they wear sneakers or socks. Some are held with the soldiers for up to a week.
الجنود معهم صاروا يتنقلوا فينا من هان لهان من دار لدار يستخدمونا درع بشري لهم كانوا يلبسونا كاميرا ونروح نصور البيوت.
An Israeli conscript confirmed the practice and that it was done with the knowledge of the brigade commander. The report also details an incident where a Palestinian was dressed in white overalls and sent to lure out resistance fighters. Complaints from soldiers about these practices were reportedly suppressed by senior army officials, who claimed that some lives were more important than others.
The Israeli government and the IDF are saying that the lives of the IDF are more important than the lives of Palestinian civilians. This is nothing but straight up racism when the IDF claims that their lives are more important than Palestinians.
Tracking dogs previously used for locating explosives were discharged and needed to be replaced, and that a soldier doesn't need to take an interest in the laws of war. This is not the first time.
They're saying that the laws of war doesn't pertain to the IDF because this is how it's always been. The Israeli government has never cared about international law. That's why they continually break international law. Palestinian children tortured, used as human shields by Israel, according to the UN. Uh, yeah, no surprise that a religious group, a religious nut, the Zionist Israeli government that just care about using nationalism and religion to support their government is torturing Palestinian children and using them as human shields. This is no different than what Nazis would have done.
Israel is under the spotlight for using Palestinians as human shields. And although the act was banned in 2005 by the Israeli Army Chief of Staff, the practice is still prevalent both in Gaza and in the occupied West Bank.
This is like the Israeli government and the IDF saying that the killing of hostages is or has been banned, yet they still kill hostages. It is what Operation Hannibal or whatever, the Hannibal Directive is what they call it, where the IDF was giving the permission to kill uh, Israeli civilians if they were taken hostage. That is a very big war crime, yet the Israeli government doesn't care if they do it because the Israeli government thinks they get to do whatever they want. And they're backed up by the United States, one of the biggest terrorist government in the world, because the United States loves to go around the world committing genocide and various war crimes and acting like